Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back. Now, today I'm going to go through the third place Endymion Magician deck profile for everyone, just in case for persons who wanted to see the deck build. I made a few changes the last time before tournament. Before I go into the deck profile, let me just tell you how it went. I only lost to the same player twice, which was Infernoble. So I went through near undefeated. I had one loss, one draw in Swiss, and I lost in top 4. However, the deck performed well, especially against the matchups, which were all over the place. Plunder Patrol, Tri Brigade, Infernoble, Shadow. I played everything. Everything. It was so hilarious to see that none of the Dragonlings stopped and they played each other, which is extremely funny. But yeah, let's go through. First up, we have triple Big Daddy Endymion. Then we have one Reflection and one Servant. And that's it for all your Endymions. The reason why I cut short the Magister is that he just wasn't doing anything turn 1, and I would prefer to see an Endymion than Magister if the Magister is not going to do anything. So I just cut him from the deck overall. Then we have triple Abductor and one Jackal King. That rounds it off for your spell counter engine. You can truly play more Jackal King if you'd like. It's just that with a combo based hand, seeing that he's not a combo piece, and you have to have him on field before you start putting on spells to get counters, it just doesn't always work out well for Jackal King. So it's a good one-off. But apart from that, he has been very good throughout the tournament. I didn't see it all often. I didn't summon it majority of the duels intentionally. Um, if you guys don't really understand, Endymion is a deck that more interact with your opponent. Depending on what your opponent does, you'll change your line of plays. Now, if my opponent is not playing a deck that plays a lot of monster, so there is no need for a lot of monster negates, I'm not going to summon it. Then for the magicians, 2 harmonizing. You can play 3 if you want. 1 black fang, 1 double iris, purple poison, and we have Shanky. Shanky being the only level 7 was good. I didn't always make the level 7 play. If you want, you can play the extra level 7 just to make the play. But the thing is that you may not need it, which was the case majority of the time because I didn't make that play first. What I tried to do first at all times was to link someone into Crowley so that I can get the Pot of Greed. So I believe that pushed me further than trying to get Vortex on the field. And it did work out well, majority of the time. I'm not saying it's guaranteed to work out that well every single time, but it worked out well that time. And then I'm playing a little cheap OTK with these two along with Endymion because it pushes Endymion to 4,000 and he'll be doing double damage. So I play Underclock to reduce my opponent to 0 and attack for 8,000 in one go. And seeing that it doesn't really, most persons don't really catch on to what you're doing, they don't really have a way to interrupt it. We have Spellbook, Prophecy, and triple Fairy Tale Luna. Luna was, my apologies, Luna was one of the MVPs for the tournament. Seeing that Luna, every time I saw her on normal summon, my opponent had to find at least 2 interruptions to deal with her. And the thing is, it just gathers advantage over the duel. So if they don't deal with it, they're going to be in a losing position where this card is just continuously gaining advantage. So it was really good. That's it for all the monsters. Then for the spells, triple Duelist Alliance, 2 Pen Call, 1 Star Pendulum Graph. From there we have triple Mastery, 2 Secrets, 1 Knowledge, 1 Instant Fusion, and for the unique text, I play... Alright, let me go through them last. Apart from all of this, we play triple Allure. And you know with Star Pendulum Graph, we play Time Pendulum Graph. Star Pendulum you should play, it's a free game one against Sky Strikers, but you don't always keep it in. If your opponent is not going to play something that targets spellcasters, example Tri Brigade, just take it out. Alright? And Time Pendulum Graph is Time Pendulum Graph. You can't take that out. It's just too good furthermore. The mere fact that a lot of persons main deck imperm, and then by the time they see this, because they summon a monster first and you clear their board, so they can't negate anymore because they can't target Endymion in the first place. So they're going to summon the monster, you clear their field with this, they can no longer target with traps, so they can't even target your Celine or anybody anymore. So they have dead cards. And then with dead cards and your cards getting the maximum value, you're sure to win. For the last tech, everyone know that I was playing Restage and Magician's Right Hand, but at the last moment I decided not to. And the reason why I decided that is that it didn't have a lot of impact on your games. And with playing Pendulums, you have to play high impact cards. So because it was a low impact, it's just negating the first spell. No, it's a way to protect yourself from Dark Ruler no more. But because it wasn't doing anything after that, and if my opponent didn't draw the Dark Ruler, it didn't do anything. And worse, if your opponent just didn't play any spells. Like if they were playing Tri Brigade and they just found purely monsters, the card would be there doing nothing. So I didn't want to play that. So what I decided to do was play Necro Valley. Because I thought to myself, which deck in the game right now, which meta deck doesn't lose to Necro Valley? And the honest answer was none of them. All of them loses to Necro Valley. I played Plunder, died to it. Everything died to it. Shadows died to it. Which is surprising because Shadows normally have a way out. Dinosaurs died to it. Everything I played died to it. If I played anything else, if you play Sky Strikers, they died to it. If you play Salaman Great, they died to it. So it just covered a lot of options. And because I took out Restage, I have space for Terraforming and Set Rotation. This way I'm easily able to find it as soon as possible. Because you are drawing through your deck. Now, because Set Rotation requires you to play more field spells, I played, of course, the Citadel and the Spellbook Tower. I was always playing Tower, as everyone knows. However, this came in play because what you can do is that you can set rotation, you give yourself the Citadel, and you give your opponent the Necro Valley. So what happens is that you put a counter on it, and then you summon Reflection. Reflection will bounce a card with a counter, which will be the Citadel, and you get to bounce a card. So you get this back. So you get two of them, and there is a card in your hand. Now, Citadel did not exactly was a bad option. It definitely came up a lot where I had to use Servant twice, because it had the counters and I can remove it off it. So when your opponent ashed the Servant and they waited for the Servant, I just did it again and tear out their throat. So it was just a win-win thing, and Reflection was actually extremely good because Luna gets you into it, Servant gets you into it, Mastery gets you into it. There was just a lot of ways to see this card. So the combo was always live every single time I saw Set Rotation. I didn't see Set Rotation enough, but I drew Necro Valley a lot of times, which I'm shocked because the card was just one copy in the deck. But it had such a high impact in majority of the games, I think it's a main staple for the deck. Moving on, we have Millennium Eyes Restrict, Vortex, Borrowed Savage Dragon, Dwello, and Absolute. Now, shoutouts to the person who told me to play Dwello. Dwello was very impactful every time I summoned it. I didn't summon it often, but when I did, instantly won that game. I never lost a game where I summoned Dwello, even if my opponent didn't do a graveyard effect. Dwello just kept everything at bay. And the sad part, I didn't summon Boral even once. And Boral was an MVP if I summoned it. No, like, I did summon Boral once, but I lost that game, so I don't even count it. Then we have Artemis. Didn't summon her through the entire tournament. Cross Sheep, IP. We have Crowley and Underclock. Persons aren't really familiar with Underclock. What I do is that majority of the time you're going to pen call for double iris and purple poise, which is natural because these are going to be your scales. So they have great synergy with Endymion in terms of Endymion is at 2,800. Now because this pumps it by 1,200, that's exactly 4,000. So what is important about 4,000 is that double iris makes you do double damage. So if you catch a monster at 0 attack, it does 8,000 instant game. So what you do is summon Underclock, put it to where Endymion point, make sure it's pointing to Endymion. Drop your opponent to 0 and attack for game in one go. It won every single time I did it, but majority of the time, persons were suspicious. They didn't know what I was doing, but they were suspicious in that it was leading to something. So the majority of the time they stopped me, but they didn't know why. They just felt that I was doing something dangerous. But that's it for that. Apart from that, Nightmare Unicorn, as per normal, I've played this card in my extra deck and haven't summoned it once for 3 years. I'm pretty sure I'm taking it out. We have double Selena Gomez, then we have Apple and Boral. If you can get the access code, I guarantee you would not regret it. Take out Boral and put in access code. I regret playing Boral. I did not summon it throughout the entire event. The thing is with access code was actually really good is that you can Endymion, clear the board, make access code, clear again if needed, and then they combine will always be 8,100. So you're always attacking for game. So it's great synergy. You're going to clear the board and you have guaranteed game. So I really need an access code. I normally borrow one, but that's it. I don't want to go through the side deck due to the time, and I've showed the side deck without any change since last time. Alright guys, that is going to be for me. If you want the score sheet again, I only lost 1 in Swiss, and I drew 1. And I lost in top 4, so I came 3rd. Because the person who beat me won the event. But this is it guys. Thanks for you guys' input. I wouldn't have played well if you guys was so adamant that I do. So I'm really happy for that. If you guys want to try the underclock, it really does work, I promise you. As long as your opponent doesn't interrupt you, that's 8,000 flat. I don't think I'm going to play this deck at the next event. I think what I'm going to go for the next challenge is because I'm trying to use all different types of pendulum decks before everything comes back. That was my real goal of even playing this. So I topped with Magicians, I topped with Endymion Stone, and the next runner-up is Odd Eyes. Now, the Odd Eyes deck profile took a while. The reason why is that I was playing Odd Eyes Dragon Link, which actually turned out to have great synergy. But the problem I had was that to get the deck to 40 cards, it was a real issue. Because I don't see myself playing under 50 cards, and I don't play 50 card decks or any deck over 40 at tournaments. Like I had an issue with this, and this is a 41 card deck. So I think I'm going to play Odd Eyes Dragon Links, but the thing is to it that Odd Eyes Dragon Link did not offer anything that straight Dragon Links did not already offer. Of course you get Vortex, but that's it. Like, that's where it ends in terms of differences. So, I didn't want to play that. And even though Odd Eyes Dragon Links was a great deck, I don't see myself playing a 60 card deck just because I want to prove that you can play Odd Eyes when you can just purchase a Dragon Link deck and do the exact same thing. So, I'm really contemplating a better build. Unfortunately, there's nothing on YouTube to give me any advice. But the subscribers, you guys can give me a chat. I can definitely show you what the Odd Eyes Dragon Links can do. But the previous videos that I showed in terms of combos for Odd Eyes was it the deck. But I couldn't play everything and keep the deck 40 or even 45. It had to play a lot of stuff. Alright, that's it from me guys. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'm out. Have a great day.